So we'd like to take this opportunity to tell a story of our son, Darren Fitzpatrick, who was mortally injured in his tour in Afghanistan. Had it been for the blood donation that he received, we had 2 precious weeks to spend with him in Germany before his passing.
Right from the minute he was born, the born little redhead, 5 pounds, we knew he was a source to be reckoned with. Very dedicated, hardworking, and loved sports. Grew up with his brothers, always getting into mischief, but he had a huge heart.
He was a very loyal, true friend. Many people that you talk to, everyone will say that Darren was their best friend. Loved his family, loved his brothers, loved his cousins. His family was the world to him. I don't think it was ever a lifelong dream of Darren's to join the military. It wasn't a decision until he reached his late teens that he decided to join the military, but it was within his nature and his character, like as I said earlier, to care for the less fortunate. And so he knew what he was getting into. He was prepared to take on whatever the risk was. He just knew that there was a reason for him to be there.
Darren always liked sports. He always really excelled at the team sports, and one of the reasons that he told me that he liked the military so much is that he felt it was a real camaraderie and a team atmosphere. Darren had a huge heart and very much the protector, and he saw that over in Afghanistan. It gives us a warm feeling that he was doing what he wanted to do.
Darren was on a foot patrol and was injured through an IED. He was critically injured in the field, and to the point where actually he'd lost his entire blood volume. When he arrived in Kandahar Hospital, there were, I believe it was 19 soldiers waiting to give him donation when he arrived. So that blood donation was critical in his, in surviving.
When we landed in Germany, it was pretty evident that it was going to be a difficult go. We were met, for first person that we were met with was one of the pastors that had asked us to give him permission to do last rites. Initially, Darren shouldn't have survived his injuries. They didn't know how he did that. They don't know how he survived to Kabul, and they didn't know how he survived the flight over to Landstuhl, Germany. Every time we left, we thought that would be the last time we saw him. Darren was able to wake up, which surprised everybody. And it was a Darren that we knew. He woke up, he was able to talk to us, kid with his brothers.
Every day was a medical miracle, that based on the feedback that we've heard from his medical team that was with him, staff of surgeons and nurses, every day was truly a gift.
And I think that's one of the biggest messages that we wanted to bring forward, is that without his donation, or the donation of blood, we would never have had those difficult but 2 weeks that we treasured, really treasured.
We believe, he knew where he was. He knew that we were with him. His request was he just wanted to come home to Canada, and that, I think, is part of what drove him. It really demonstrated his strong, immense will to live. So medically, they got him as stable as they could. We loaded him into the plane and brought him home to Edmonton. It was very emotional, coming home to Canada for sure. Just the significance of landing in Canada. That was his one request, right?
We don't know how to pay it back. And we thought about that a lot. And I know that if Darren had survived, he would have been adamant about paying back the blood that saved his life. If we donate, each of us, every 56 days and not miss one donation, it'll take us just a little more than 10 years to pay back. So that's one of the things that we think that we can pay it forward.
Absolutely, Darren would want us to do this and to pay this forward. So that's what this is all about for us. One of the things that we've heard consistently is that people want to help. They want to find a way that they can to help, and they don't know what that is. So this, I think, would be one way to do that. And that's what we've decided as a family as well, right? One of the fears of parents and those who have people that serve in the military, that when they pass, that they're going to be forgotten. And I just want people to really remember those, and remember the sacrifice of all of our military personnel, that they've served and that they've given of themselves the ultimate.